4 pursuits, 4 bad decisions. In today's video, you'll see what happens when suspects think speeding away is enough to escape the police. From suspects crashing into residential areas and running through backyards, to another being thrown off a bike while trying to flee, to risky shortcut attempts, each situation reveals critical mistakes and the split-second decisions officers are forced to make. On the 2nd of September 2024, in the state of Kentucky, United States, we were on routine patrol when we spotted a motorcyclist behaving suspiciously. When we signaled him to stop for a check, he suddenly accelerated and fled. From that moment, a short but dangerous pursuit began. When someone decides to run from the police, their mindset often shifts into survival mode. At that point, they stop thinking clearly. The more they try to escape quickly, the more likely they are to make mistakes. Our job is to apply pressure, but never let the situation spiral out of control. In a motorcycle pursuit, speed isn't the most important factor. What really matters is anticipating the rider's behavior. We continuously update our position over the radio so supporting units stay informed. The goal isn't simply to catch up, it's to limit the suspect's options and wait for a safe moment to end the pursuit. Pressure from behind often causes fleeing riders to misjudge situations. When adrenaline spikes, instinct overrides reason. One bad turn or one sudden brake can send a bike out of control. And that's exactly what happened when the motorcycle suddenly lost control and the rider was thrown off. Look at that, the suspect has been thrown from the bike. The pursuit ends instantly. That's the consequence of a reckless decision. Our focus immediately shifts to scene control. We order him to show his hands to ensure he's not holding a weapon while quickly assessing his injuries and calling for EMS.
Keep your hands out! My back's broke! You shouldn't have ran!
Oh, please!
That's what you get being dumb. Get on your stomach.
I can't move! Please help me! Oh my fucking god! It hurts so bad!
You idiot.
Please help! Please! Please! Help!
The suspect keeps saying his back hurts and may be broken. In situations like this, every movement matters. If handled incorrectly, the injury could become much worse. That's why we keep him in position and avoid unnecessary movement while waiting for medical personnel to arrive.
No! God damn, please help me.
You shouldn't have ran. You shouldn't have ran, man. You should have just stopped.
I don't have a license.
Well, I'd have written you a ticket, brother.
Once things calm down a bit, we perform a quick check for weapons or drugs. This is a mandatory safety step for everyone on scene. During the process, the suspect admits the reason he ran in the first place. He doesn't have a driver's license.
Hang out for me, all right? Does this come up?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna lift it up, all right? How do I do it?
Got a button under the chin.
Right here?
Yeah.
After being taken over by paramedics, the 8-year-old man now faces multiple charges, including fleeing from police, driving without a valid license, and reckless endangerment on public roads. In addition to significant fines, he could also face probation or possible jail time, depending on the severity of the violations and the consequences of the incident. On January 1st, 2024, while most people were enjoying the New Year holiday, we received a report about a suspicious vehicle in the area. When we approached to conduct a check, the driver immediately took off running, one of the most foolish decisions suspects often make. The pursuit began instantly. Once a pursuit begins, the first priority is communication. Sharing location updates over the radio allows other units to prepare and support the situation. Suspects often believe that speeding away will guarantee escape, but what they fail to realize is that the containment perimeter is already closing in.
4157. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. 476 right on Popular, aren't we? Oh, stand by. Going through a yard, at least trying to get back to Popular.
As pressure builds, suspects often panic and start looking for quick turns into residential areas, thinking complex streets will help them lose the police. But once they leave the main road, they also lose the main advantage their vehicle provides: speed.
4157 East on Popular.
And that's exactly what happened here. The suspect cut through a residential yard at high speed, and a muddy corner caused the bike to crash. Even after the fall, he tried to keep running on foot. At that moment, our tactics immediately shifted from vehicle pursuit to a foot chase. Clear commands were repeated: get on the ground, do not move.
Stop! Get on the ground! I will shoot you! Get on the ground! I will shoot you! Do you understand me?
When the suspect still refused to comply with our commands, we had to deploy a taser. This is the fastest way to end a situation before it escalates further. Our goal is always to stop the pursuit as quickly as possible to reduce risk for everyone in the surrounding area.
Get up. I'm sitting up. You see me sitting up. Get up. You see me sitting up. Don't you want to run from me? You want to get off on foot and run? You don't see me sitting up home here.
Once he was restrained, the suspect's mindset changed quickly. From trying to escape at all costs, he suddenly became cooperative. We ordered him to stand up, face the patrol vehicle, and keep his hands in position to make sure there were no sudden movements.
Can you understand me? Yes.
4157.
Can't please make a phone call. Nope. My phone's in. Nope. You ain't doing nothing. You gotta let somebody know, man. No, you ain't. Yeah, you will from the jail. How you doing, sir? Sorry about your
While securing the suspect, we also had to deal with the aftermath at the scene. He had run straight through a resident's yard and damaged a fence. In situations like this, we have to maintain control of the suspect while also explaining to the homeowner what just happened.
They want to spread your feet. Are you gonna do it some more? I can. It's jeans. Well, wear some looser jeans. Goddamn, dude. All right, man, you got me. You gotta keep on.
After being handcuffed and placed in the patrol car, the suspect faced multiple charges, including fleeing from police, resisting arrest, and causing property damage by trespassing onto residential property. In addition to fines and compensation for the damaged fence, he may also face probation or possible jail time, depending on the court's decision. On the 27th of April 2025, on North State Line Avenue, a white Suzuki was speeding aggressively, its engine roaring abnormally loud. What started as a minor traffic violation quickly escalated within seconds into a full-scale police pursuit. At a red light, we instructed him to pull over for inspection, but the moment the light turned green, the suspect immediately twisted the throttle and fled.
1037.
speed's 90, westbound on St. Mike, Texas. Original reason for the stop was no eye probe. Off on I-30.
As the speed hit 90 miles per hour, this was no longer a routine traffic stop. It became a high-risk situation. At this point, the suspect's mindset is no longer rational, tunnel vision takes over, reflexes dominate, and every decision becomes increasingly dangerous. The speed had now exceeded 100 miles per hour. The suspect began weaving through traffic like he was in a high-speed racing event. At that velocity, the risk of a major crash is extremely high, especially on a highway. We maintained a calculated distance close enough to control, but not too aggressive to trigger a fatal mistake.
15 mile marker speed's 97. He's giving it all it's got. Knocked him off the road. He's got back northbound on Larry Road.
Radio communication intensified with continuous updates and coordination while awaiting further command.
25, do what you have to do to end it. We don't need to keep going anymore else on just 22, but end it.
Pull over.
The order came through the radio to terminate the pursuit. We issued clear commands for the suspect to stop.
Pull over. Pull over.
We might be stopping at Bend Road.
As expected, it was a fake move. He pretended to slow down, then stayed ready to accelerate again. From experience, we recognized this instantly. It was a classic bait to create distance. And just like that, the pursuit ended because of a simple human mistake.
Texas. I'm on the phone with him right now.
Pull over.
Going off road near Bend Road.
He hit a small pothole, which was enough to lose control at that speed. The bike crashed into the woods. As he attempted to flee on foot, we moved in quickly and used a taser to safely subdue him. The suspect, identified as Cop Reinhardt from Arkansas, was arrested while showing signs of alcohol intoxication. He faces multiple charges including DUI, fleeing from law enforcement, reckless driving, and several traffic violations. Potential penalties include jail time, heavy fines, and long-term license suspension. On the 6th of November 2024, on I-675, a motorcycle was clocked at 94 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. When we signaled him to stop, he immediately accelerated and refused to comply. Clear sign of evasion behavior. When a suspect has something to hide, they don't weigh consequences, they react on instinct and choose to run. As the suspect entered the highway, we shifted into tactical pursuit. At high speeds, the priority is not closing distance but controlling direction. We read the road ahead to anticipate his moves instead of just chasing from behind. The suspect pushed past 120 miles per hour, weaving between vehicles. He wasn't thinking this was reckless, almost delusional driving. At this stage, our priority is applying pressure without triggering a multi-vehicle crash.
Going through the Walmart parking lot.
When he turned into a Walmart parking lot, it showed a loss of control. Suspects often move into complex areas to escape, but that reduces speed and creates opportunities for containment. Radio traffic stayed constant to coordinate units. We built a containment grid, gradually restricting his movement and forcing him into an area with no escape path.
Just two. Yeah, but I was gonna have two.
Once distance and conditions were safe, we deployed a taser. This allows for a quick resolution without physical confrontation. The moment it connected, his body locked up, ending the pursuit instantly. The suspect, Antonio Dobson, was arrested on scene. He was found carrying 18 grams of marijuana and a firearm in his jacket. Although he had a valid driver's license, he lacked a motorcycle endorsement and the vehicle was unregistered and uninsured. Charges include drug possession, illegal firearm possession, fleeing law enforcement, reckless driving, and multiple traffic violations. Penalties may include jail time, heavy fines, and long-term license suspension.